This is my feeble attempt to not hoard more kitchen gadgets. Hi everyone, it's Tash and welcome to another recipe video. And today we're going to attempt to make Matcha Magnums without a mould. It's taking all of my willpower just not to go online and buy some Magnum moulds. You know, those chocolate coated ice creams on the stick. And to curb my impulses, I'm going to attempt to make Magnums without any moulds. Last week I came kind of close. I did it as a biscuit sandwich, and then after I was done filming I was eating one and I thought I actually whipped the filling enough to not use the biscuits at all. I could just pipe this straight on a tray and freeze it. So this is what we're going to try to do today. This is one of those rare videos where I'm filming the intro before I know what's going to happen. So this is a pure experiment. You'll probably tell by the resulting thumbnail whether I was successful or not, based on if I'm looking happy or sad, or possibly even confused. To be honest, I might look confused even if it turns out right. But you'll already have a rough idea if this went well or not. Just like in the last video, we're going to whip up that ice cream so it's thick enough to pipe. Like a no-churn ice cream, but even thicker. But we've got to be careful because if we whip it too much, then it will have a really nasty, greasy feeling in your mouth after you freeze it. But the idea is we're going to whip it thick enough so we can pipe it in a Magnum shape and not have to use a mold to get that classic shape. And then of course we're going to make some matcha chocolate and dip the frozen ice creams in. So let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. To make the ice cream part, you'll need 2 tablespoonfuls of matcha, and gradually stir in about 1/3 to 1/2 of a can of condensed milk. This is the sweetened condensed milk stuff. I'm going to go for 1/3 today because I don't want my ice cream too sweet, because we are going to be using white chocolate to coat this, which is already very sweet, so we don't want to overdo it with the sugar. Set this aside. And now we're going to whisk 300 millilitres of double cream until it forms soft peaks. Once it gets to this stage, we're going to add in all of our lovely luscious matcha milk mixture. Ooh, that was a tongue twister, that was. Nearly forgot, we're also going to add the tiniest pinch of salt just to bring out those flavours, and we're going to whisk this up until it forms stiff peaks. There we go, that didn't take long at all. Now I'm going to scrape all of this into my piping bag. Whoops, that slipped out nearly, don't want that to happen. Into the piping bag, which I have a round tipped nozzle. You don't need that, but it makes piping a bit neater. I'm going to scoop it straight in there. Wow, I really can't speak today. Now here I've lined a baking tray with some non-stick baking paper. This is my reusable stuff. It works a dream, doesn't stick anything to it. I mean, nothing sticks to it. Wow, really can't talk today. And I've got some of my wooden popsicle sticks. Last time I used foil to line my tray. That will work as well if you don't have non-stick baking paper or this stuff. And I'm basically going to freestyle it. Let me just lay out these sticks again so I can see roughly how big I want to pipe out my bootleg Magnums. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space at the top. Let's see, about this much. Yeah, this much, so I'll try not to go beyond the halfway point here. And I can just about reach the top there. Okay, so let's try this. I've got my bag ready and I'm just going to pipe vague Magnum shapes. We're going to use half the amount in our piping bag for this point, because remember we want equal amounts of ice cream on both sides of the stick, so piping out half now. That's going to have a very short stick. I've got my trusty palette knife here. I'm just going to squidge this one down a bit. So I'm going to continue until I've used about half of the amount of this bag. And now I'm going to stick the sticks right in the middle. And now we're just going to cover the rest with the rest of our ice cream mixture. Now I'm just going to use the top of my trusty palette knife just to smooth things down a little. And there you go, these are roughly magnum shaped. Now we're going to freeze these overnight, so see you tomorrow. Now I am melting 350 grams of white chocolate with 2 heaped tablespoons of matcha. And just like last time, you don't have to temper the chocolate. It's going to be stored in the freezer anyway, so it is going to set nice and hard. But if you do want that nice snap, then you do temper the chocolate. And I am going to temper the chocolate for this. If you want to see in more detail how to do that without a microwave, without a thermometer, then click on the link that I'm going to share above and below. I've got an in-depth video of how to do that. Super easy, don't need any equipment. I'm going to use the same method here. And if you want to see specifically how I've made a tempered matcha white chocolate, which I've done in a few recipes before, then click on this link. I'll also link it down below. Done it a couple of times. But yes, you don't have to temper it. If you don't want to do all of that, then literally just melt all of your chocolate and mix the matcha in at the same time. It blends very nicely with no lumps. But I'm doing the tempering method, which means I'm melting about half first here, and then I'm going to take it off the heat and gradually add the rest in so it forms those nice cocoa butter snappy crystals. But yes, do look at those links if you want to see more in depth how to temper your chocolate. I love making matcha white chocolate. The matcha stirs into that melted white chocolate so easily, no lumps, you don't even have to sift it. As you see, I've put my matcha chocolate in a nice big mug and I'm going to start dipping. So we're going to peel this one off. Oh, nice, see, it doesn't stick at all. Gonna just dip it right in, give it a little wiggle, and then give it a good shake to get all the excess chocolate off. We're going to place it straight on our tray and we're going to do this again and again. Now the chocolate level will start to go down, so you will have to start tilting the mug and eventually spoon the chocolate straight onto your ice cream. Woohoo! So we've got the 3 pretty ones here, which got the initial dip, so the chocolate's nice and high. And then we have these ones. As you can see, there was a little bit of manoeuvring as the chocolate level went down in the cup. Then this one, I just had to go ahead and spoon the chocolate on because the chocolate got so low. So yes, there was enough for all 6. But yeah, if you're doing this professionally, obviously you'd have a massive vat of unending chocolate and you wouldn't have to worry about the level going down. But we are home cooks and we have no such luxury, so this is what's going to happen. Doesn't matter though, they're going to be equally delicious. It kind of looks legit. Well, as much as it can without a mould. Let's give her a twirl, shall we? And just like last time, because we've whipped the cream nice and thick, it melts a bit more slowly so it won't be all runny and drippy. Well, more slowly than it would with a regular ice cream, which would have a thinner texture. But this thicker one gives us a bit of leeway. Right, I'm going to go ahead and take a bite out of this because I want to take some shots with the chocolate off of it, if that makes sense. So, cheers. Look at that. So good. Did you hear that snap as well because we tempered the chocolate? Be right back, gonna take a few shots. And I did attempt to get a slow-mo shot, although it wasn't as interesting as last week when it went flying because I was a bit more cautious this time. So there you go, homemade Matcha Magnum, and we didn't even have to use a mould for it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe video and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com, follow me on Instagram, I am tashcakes.tastes, and find me on TikTok too, I'm tashcakes there too, but my handle is food in slow motion. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more, give this video a like if you liked it to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I'll see you guys next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. Look at the thickness on the chocolate too, cool, blimey.